Most Canadians think retiring early is risky, that it means giving up security, income, or peace of mind, that it's something only the ultra wealthy can do. But here's the truth, waiting too long can be far more expensive, not just financially, but emotionally. Every year you keep working, just one more year, you're not buying more freedom, you're delaying it. I see it all the time. Hardworking professionals, business owners, and executives who could have retired years ago, but they don't. Not because they can't afford to, but because they've convinced themselves they're not ready yet. They tell me things like, I'll just work until the market stabilizes. Let's wait until interest rates go down. Maybe next year, when I feel more confident. But here's the problem. That feeling rarely comes. And before they know it, 5 years have passed, their health isn't what it used to be, and the window to enjoy the freedom they've worked for starts to shrink. This is what I call the freedom gap. The space between when you can retire and when you finally give yourself the permission to retire. And here's the twist. People who retire earlier, when it's done with the right planning and purpose, often end up happier, healthier, and more fulfilled than those who wait for someday. Hi, I'm Danny Perro, Senior Investment Advisor at CG Wealth Management. You've spent years saving, investing, and building your financial future. You've likely asked yourself this question: when's the right time to retire? Most people think the answer lies in the numbers. How much you've saved, what your portfolio is worth, how much income you can draw, and yes, those things matter. But after helping countless Canadians transition into retirement, I've learned something important. The timing of your retirement has less to do with your bank account and more to do with your mindset. Because while many people delay retirement out of fear or uncertainty, those who retire earlier with structure and purpose often experience a greater sense of freedom, fulfillment, and joy. In this video, we're going to explore why retiring earlier could actually bring you more happiness, not less. We'll break down what that freedom gap really is and why so many Canadians fall into it, and how you can create a plan that gives you the confidence to step away sooner without sacrificing your security. If you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more expert financial content. Leave questions in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Number 1, the myth of I'll feel ready later. The most common reason Canadians delay retirement isn't money, it's emotion. People say, I'll feel ready when I hit this number or once the market settles down, but that day rarely comes. You've spent 30 or 40 years in the accumulation mode, saving, building, investing, and being responsible. That discipline got you here, but it also created an identity that's hard to turn off. You've built a habit around always preparing for the next stage of life. And when that stage finally arrives, it feels unnatural to stop. So instead of retiring, you keep working, even though your plan says you could stop comfortably. You tell yourself, just a little longer. The irony is, the people who are most financially prepared to retire are often the ones who delay it the longest, because they've built their confidence around saving, not spending. Frankly, you may never feel ready. You'll only feel confident when your plan shows you exactly how retirement works for you in real, measurable terms. Number 2, why time is the most valuable currency you have. Here's something most retirement plans overlook. Your money can grow, but your time cannot. Many Canadians push their retirement to 65 or 70, thinking they're being cautious. But by doing so, they trade some of their healthiest, most vibrant years for a few more paychecks. What I often remind clients is this: your early retirement years, say 58 to 68, are your freedom years. These are the years when you still have energy, health, and flexibility to enjoy life to the fullest. That's when you know you can travel the world without worrying about mobility or stamina, spend meaningful time with family before health challenges arise, explore your passions and hobbies that working life never allowed. When people delay retirement too long, they often find themselves with more money, but less health, less energy, and fewer opportunities to use it meaningfully. So yes, your portfolio is important, but time is the only asset you cannot replenish. Every year spent working unnecessarily is a year you don't get back. Number 3, the freedom gap. What is it and why it happens? The freedom gap is the difference between when you're financially capable of retiring and when you actually do retire. For many Canadians, that gap can last anywhere from 3 to 10 years. And during that time, they're not building wealth, they're trading time for a sense of control. Here's how it usually looks. You've saved well, your plan says you're fine, but emotionally you still feel tied to work because it gives you structure, purpose, and routine. Then there's fear. Fear of the market downturns, fear of inflation, fear of losing identity. These are all understandable, but they often disguise the truth. You're not afraid of running out of money. You're afraid of running out of certainty. I once worked with Paul and Denise, a couple from Ontario, And at age 60, they had $2.8 million invested, a paid off home, and no debt. They could have retired comfortably with a six-figure income. But Paul said, let's wait until I'm 65 just to be sure. When he finally retired, he told me, I wish someone had shown me this 5 years ago. We could have been living the life we wanted even earlier. That's the freedom gap. The years lost to hesitation, not necessity. Number 4, how to retire earlier without losing confidence. Here's the good news. Retiring earlier doesn't mean throwing away caution. It means creating a plan that earns your confidence. There are 3 main pillars to doing this effectively. A, income clarity. The biggest fear people have about retiring early is running out of money. That fear disappears when you have a written income plan showing exactly where every dollar will come from, year by year. When structured properly, your plan should show you when and how you draw from your RSP, TFSA, or non-registered accounts, how to layer in CPP and OAS for tax efficiency, how to minimize clawbacks or unnecessary withdrawals, seeing that your income can last 30 years or more, even with inflation and volatility, gives you the confidence to live fully now, not just later. B, purpose planning. The happiest retirees don't simply stop working. They retire to something. Whether it's consulting, volunteering, mentoring, or pursuing hobbies, they build a new rhythm that replaces the purpose work once provided. When your days have meaning, you don't miss the routine of the job. You embrace the freedom of choice. C, health prioritization. The earlier you retire, the more years you have to enjoy good health. Your money can always earn returns, but your body can't. Investing time in your physical and mental well-being during those early years can extend not just your lifespan, but the quality of your life. Number 5, the emotional return on early retirement. When people think of retirement, they usually focus on financial returns, growth rates, withdrawal rates, investment performance. But what about the emotional return? Early retirees often tell me what surprised them most wasn't how much income they had, it was how much life they gained back. They're more present with family, they rediscover passions they'd forgotten about, they spend less time worrying and more time living intentionally. One client, Susan, retired at 58. She was nervous at first, worried she would regret it. But 6 months later, she told me, I feel younger, lighter, and more myself than I have in years. That's the kind of dividend no investment statement can measure. Because the truth is, happiness in retirement isn't about how much money you have. It's about how aligned your lifestyle is with your values. Number 6, why waiting for the perfect time never works. Markets will fluctuate. Governments will adjust the tax rules. The economy will always have uncertainty. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you will be waiting forever. What matters most is creating flexibility within your plan, so you can adapt as life unfolds. That means building a cash reserve or low volatility income bucket to weather the downturns. Tax diversification between RSPs, TFSAs, and non-reg accounts. A clear investment strategy that balances growth with downside protection. When your plan has built-in resilience, you no longer need to perfect the timing. You just need a clear structure that keeps you moving forward confidently. Because retirement isn't a finish line. It's a transition. And like any transition, it can happen gradually. You can semi-retire, consult part-time, or work on passion projects that bring meaning rather than pressure. The goal isn't to stop working suddenly. It's to reach the point where work becomes optional. Number 7, the real measure of retirement success. When clients tell me they want to retire successfully, I always ask this: what does success look like to you? For some, it's traveling the world. For others, it's time with grandkids or giving back, or simply waking up without an alarm clock. But no matter what the goal is, the pattern is always the same. The happiest retirees are the ones who stop measuring success by their portfolio and start measuring it by how much of their life they actually get to live. The essence of closing the freedom gap is not about retiring recklessly. It's about aligning your financial plan with the life you want while you're still healthy enough to enjoy it. The freedom gap is one of the most overlooked challenges in retirement planning. It's not about having enough. It's about waiting too long to use what you've already earned. Because when you think about it, the goal of retirement isn't to die with the largest portfolio. It's to live the fullest life possible while you still can. When structured properly, retiring earlier doesn't mean risking your financial future. It means designing a plan that lets you enjoy it sooner, safely, and sustainably. So if you've reached a point where you could retire, but you're unsure if you should, it might be time to take a second look. You might be closer to financial freedom and real happiness than you think. If you want a second opinion on your plan, book a time with me using the link in the description below. We're standing by to speak to you, and the time to act is now because, as you know, money never sleeps.